Hi, lacrosse fans. Welcome back to episode number 11 of the Sticks and Picks Lacrosse podcast presented by Lacrosse Unlimited. Lacrosse Unlimited provides the best lacrosse equipment, apparel, and lacrosse footwear since 1990. Check out their website at lacrosseunlimited.com for all your lacrosse needs. I'm your host, Will Petchnig, alongside co-host Jake Fox. In today's episode, we talk to the Kearnan Brothers. They are both awesome lacrosse players with great personalities. One claims to be pure muscle and steel, and the other had a very difficult time deciding on which NCAA school to play at. They are full of stories, chirps, and share some highlights of their lacrosse career so far. A reminder that this week is the Unfiltered podcast week and not recommended for kids. A huge thank you to Signature Lacrosse for their lacrosse head giveaway and a mesh kit. You can find out more after the Kearnan Brothers bash it out. Today we have two great young men on with us, full of hilarious lacrosse stories. They are brothers. They grew up playing in the Clarington Minor Lacrosse Association, with both playing with the Clarington Shamrocks Junior C, both for the Green Gales Junior B team, and then taking different paths, one going to the Toronto Beaches and one going to the Whitby Warriors. Last summer was the first time that they got to play with each other. We're excited to have them on, Connor and Brady Kearnan.
Hey, thanks for having us on. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Let's get this going.
This is gonna be a gong show.
I don't know.
So basically, we'll just dive right into things. You guys grew up in the Clarington area, playing for the Clarington Minor Lacrosse Association. Can you guys kind of tell us how you got involved with the game of lacrosse?
Well, it started with me. I'm the older one, so when I was 6, I picked up my dad's stick from the garage and kind of started messing around with it. And then next thing you know, I was signed up for lacrosse. Don't really know how that came about, but just kind of happened. And I was actually part of the first rep team they ever had in Clarington, like the very first year. So I was fortunate enough to make that. And then I'll let Brady talk about him, but he started the same year in a little bit of a gong show of fashion, but just kind of been a huge part of Clarington, the lacrosse community. My mom was president of the Gales for a number of years, and my dad always coached and was always part of the bench, and my mom was also part of the bench, being either a manager or trainer. So definitely heavily involved with the Clarington community.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really know when I started playing lacrosse and stuff like that. I imagine I was playing, around 4 or something like that when Connor started picking it up and playing. But being in Clarington and stuff like that and starting it out, definitely have some interesting stories. And I met a lot of great people on the way. But for the most part, Clarington has always been my home. It always will be. And it was fun growing up playing for them.
All right, you two grew up obviously not really playing with each other until later on, but you guys both played with some pretty good Clarington teams. Talk about some of those teammates you became best friends with and what that's like and some of the relationships you have now. And that what it really was like being part of like those first Green Gales teams that are now staples in Ontario lacrosse.
Yeah, I mean, my team was always top 3, whatever, in Ontario. Consistently battling it out with Whitby, so we had a lot of good guys that we played with. To name a few, is Zach Bryant. He went on to play RMU, become an All-American, play some pro lacrosse. Kearnan Cook, he went on to play Division I as well. We had Garrett Eddy, who went on to play ALL. Who else did I have? That was good. Mitchell Burkhardt, he kind of dropped off at an earlier age. He was one of the best growing up, though. He went the hockey route, and just a lot of good guys and a lot of good players that came through. It always helped our success. It was always a rival battling out against Whitby every single year. Usually, we never won it. Whitby usually always beat us. We'd always finish second or third. So, but it made for a strong junior push. That's why the Gales and Whitby Warriors are a pretty strong team, both in the junior A and junior B circuit. So having that pool of kids, especially my age group, definitely helped the junior team build up.
Yeah, so growing up, I've had the chance to play with a lot of great players. Just that come to mind right now, Bradley Lyons is playing in the actual NLL right now for the Toronto Rock and Junior A for Peterborough. And he actually before that went on to a JUCO Geneseo for just coming home and doing the Durham College. But I there's a lot of players right now, and obviously I'm younger, so I don't right now have a full resume to speak on everyone's behalf. But for the most part, a lot of the guys chose to go the Junior C, Junior B, and Junior A route. There's too many of them to name right now, but just off the top of my head, we have Trevor Kennedy right now. He was playing Junior A for the Lakers, and he's at Davidson Elkins right now for the NCAA. We had Brady McGregor, and he also went to Davidson Elkins, and later on now he's at U Ottawa, and he's playing Junior A. A lot of great coaches and a lot of great memories and stuff like that. But I don't even know.
Tanner Cook?
No, I'm just Tanner Cook and stuff like that. He went to North Carolina. Just a lot of guys that right now and stuff like that are still some of my best friends and closest friends that you can't really repay or even begin to express how much lacrosse and the actual minor systems gives players.
Connor, I would like you to explain who Iggy was to you.
So you got that from my mom, obviously. Iggy I got that in grade 2 at the Peterbilt tournament, or I guess major type. It was the yellow and black tomahawk head, or mohawk head, I forget what they were called. But it's yellow and black. My favorite hockey player at the time was Jerome McGinley. Greatest to ever lace him up. Don't at me. But I used to sleep with it every night, and just absolutely loved the thing. So I named him Iggy, short for McGinley, and kind of where I started falling in love with my sticks from that point on. Treated every stick since then like it was like my girlfriend or someone I love deeply.
Jeez. Brady, did you have your own version of Iggy, or were you a little more grown up?
I don't really I didn't really care about sticks. I still don't. It's just more so to me just a tool. Like I'll sometimes even switch up and string a stick the night before and use it the next day in a game. Sticks to me really don't matter. So I don't really have any stories like that. I just kind of use whatever's given to me.
Yeah, I mean, every player is different for sure with lacrosse sticks. I think that Iggy story is a funny one, and a lot of lacrosse fans will love. We're going to dive into your junior lacrosse careers. You guys both took incredible paths to get to the top level of Junior A. Connor, can you kind of go through your start of your junior lacrosse career to the end?
I came in after midget, hoping to make the Junior B. Wasn't really too focused on the Junior A. Never really popped in my head that I'd be playing there. So I was focused on making the Junior B Green Gales. And at the start of the year, I was in AP. So, at the start of the year, I was on the fence whether I'm making it or not. So they always hold up players till guys get back to school. So played my first game, did really well, and then went back down to Junior C. Played one game with them, the Shamrocks. And then after that, the Gales signed me full time. So I played the rest of the year on the Junior B team and had an all right season. And we played playoffs, and I was more so in the stands, but I learned a lot from a lot of guys on there, which then helped me to the next year, which completely blew me by surprise. I got a text from the Whitby Warriors coach saying, hey, like, can we meet at the Civic Arena, and we want to talk to you. And my buddy Kearnan Cook and my best friend Kearnan Cook got it as well. And we were all confused, and we showed up, and there's a bunch of guys there, and they're like, hey, congrats, like, you're on the team. And me and my buddy kind of looked around had absolutely zero idea that we'd be playing Junior A. Like didn't even expect it whatsoever. And next thing you know, we were playing Junior A, and it kind of started from there. And kind of thought the foundation of the Warriors was already extremely solid. They're a very good team and very good players and a very good track record. So getting to step into that lineup was pretty meaningful, and then becoming more of a key contributor as the years went on was something that I really cherish. And getting the captain of the team my last year, it was an absolute honor. So my junior career was awesome. I wouldn't trade it for a thing besides maybe giving my left and right nut to win a Minto, but I don't want to get into that. So I got a chance now, though. I'm the O coach of the Whitby Warriors now, Junior A. So hopefully we can beat the Beaches out and win a Minto.
Brady, why don't you talk? Obviously, you were part of the Whitby organization for a little bit, but you ended up going over to Toronto and becoming one of their key offensive players for them. So talk about that, kind of not taking the same route as your brother.
Yeah, my junior career so far, and a lot of my lacrosse career has been, it really is, it just be just a lot of ups and downs. I came out of midget, and I had actually the chance to play with Will my first year for the junior Bs. But I at the same time I'm really thankful that I wasn't able to, and I actually got cut. Just because simply, I wasn't mature enough, and I definitely wasn't ready for that real big step to begin with, right out of midget. And so I took the route and played junior C my first year and had a great experience there, and won the Meredith Cup. Still champs, baby, 2018, King of the Jungle. Was it 2016?
2016.
Yeah, same thing. And then my second year I got to play for the junior Bs. And that was awesome. It was a lot, like big, huge jump. That thankfully I had a lot of great teammates to help me along the way, like Riley Palmer and, Johnny Leclerc and Jeremy McWaters, to kind of guide me in and kind of, help me break the ice for junior B. And then my junior A actually kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't really in the summer after my junior, or the winter after my junior B year, I wasn't really looking to go to junior A. I was just kind of going to stay at the beach or stay at the Gales. And Connor just kind of started texting a whole bunch of junior A coaches for me and said, I got so and so points this year for the junior Bs. Is there any way that I can get a tryout? And the Beaches actually reached out to me just because of Connor, reaching out to all of them, and got to be able to try out for him, made the team. And, I haven't really looked back since then. Even with the Beaches, a lot of ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's just the people that you play with and that surround you, like the great organizations, coaching staff, teammates, etc., are just always there for you, always friggin' giving you 100%. You can't ask for a better organization. Personally, for me, we definitely struggled last year, but my first year we made the playoffs and made it to the semifinals. But it's just there's no place I'd rather be. There's really no words for it. I love all the people there. So
I will say one thing, a little fact, is that me and Brady did play one game as Whippy Warrior. We played his first year junior C, got called up, and we played one game together against Mimico. And we lost 6-3 or something like that, 5-3 or 4-3.
Yeah.
Something tiny. And I guess I missed him on an open pass in the middle, and he was sure to let me know after the game.
Yeah, well,
not during the game, after the game. Like, you missed me on the doorstep.
Yeah, well, but, it's not really my place.
He went to the Beaches. I started talking to him just because Whippy had a strong left side, and they didn't really need, they already had their guys established. So, Brady wanted a chance to play junior A, so he took it.
Brady, you got one more junior A season, hopefully. I mean, granted, all the COVID stuff going on right now. What are you most excited for of this upcoming junior A season in your Beaches team?
It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of surreal to think that it's my last year junior. You think when you're stepping in for your first year, 5 years, long time, but it goes by in a blink of an eye. It's kind of, I'm excited to get back, and I'm really excited. I'm just excited to practice and be around people that, that love me and that I love them and stuff like that, just for the sake of lacrosse. But, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow right now, not knowing what's going on, stuff like that. I know you guys can attest to this. You guys would give absolutely anything to have one more go around for just playing junior, just, doing anything, even just hanging out with the boys after a game or doing anything like that. So it's kind of a weird feeling to think that, it's all up in the air to know we're even going to get a chance to do that again. So
you guys both play for the Gales. Obviously the Gales have their slogan of FHPT. Me not being a Gales guy, I have no clue what that is. I know Will has a better idea of what that is, having been a Gale for a long time. You want to explain a little bit about that and kind of what the Gales family is like? Because like you said, at least both of you were parts of like that beginning of the Green Gales, and then going out to play junior B, it's kind of the big thing to do, I would say, for kids growing up in that organization.
Growing up and stuff like that, especially playing with Clarington, we're already the Gales, so we kind of look up to as the Green Gale Junior B organization as sort of the pro league in town, or the pro team in town. And FHPT, your midget, you kind of start hearing it, and about it and stuff like that, but you don't really understand it till you're there. And it's a hard thing to kind of say, but essentially it means family, honor, pride, tradition. And that to me really sums up what the Gales are all about. You know, you step on that team and you're instantly treated as if you're part of a big family. The organization's all class, you know, they'll help you out with anything you need. And, you know, the guys always there are just such great teammates, and, you know, on and off the floor will do anything for you. So, I mean, FHPT kind of, it's a motto, but it's more so a lifestyle when you're part of the Gales.
Yeah, I mean, I played Gales my 1 year, family, honor, pride, tradition. FHP is obviously a huge thing, has been for a number of years. To me, it really hit home because I didn't play much, especially when it came to playoffs. I didn't play much. I think I played 3 like the 15 games, something like that. So I was definitely a more team guy that year. And I know most people, when they're not playing, they get really down and down on themselves, and, you know, sad and all that kind of stuff, and upset, frustrated. But with the FHPT motto and the way everyone embraced it, was like, it might sound weird, but it didn't feel as bad sitting out, you know, especially being 16 years old at the time. I went into the locker room knowing I wasn't going to play in playoffs most of the games anyways. Just excited to be there and around the guys, just because everyone treated you well. Everyone loves each other. Everyone loves having fun together. Everyone wants to be together. And then outside the locker room too, like it goes further, because we build such a connection. Everyone wants to be together. I'm sure Will can attest to this too, is there's lots of get-togethers, which a lot of teams don't do in junior. They lose that, and they go, besides being in the locker room together, they don't really hang out. So Gales, like, we were together like every weekend, it felt like, and you really build a chemistry and a connection. And I think that's a huge part to why the Gales are one of the best junior B teams in Canada every single year. So, I mean, FHPT is definitely a great model and a way to live by.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be part of the Green Gales for parts of the last 7 years now. And I mean, that logo, you guys explained it, or sorry, that motto, you guys explained it perfectly. And it is just such a family feeling. Me as an outsider coming from Ottawa to play for the Green Gales, I was an outsider and I felt like part of the family right away. And I mean, it was just guys like Brad MacArthur, and then probably one of my favorite Green Gales of all time was Kenny Johnson, and just the joy and character that he brought to that room. If any of you guys don't know that name, I used to call him the oldest person in lacrosse. He was probably 80, I think he was 83 years old when he passed away, or 84 years old when he passed away, and he was still a trainer in his 83rd year. And the joy that he brought to our dressing room was truly something special. So kind of on to where Brady's currently at in his career right now. We're going to get into your NCAA field lacrosse careers. Connor, do you want to kind of go through how you decided to play at Canisius, and kind of the recruitment process and everything that you went through with that?
Yeah, I mean, again, same like the Warrior kind of thing. Had no expectations. I was playing Evolve my first year trying to get recruited. Didn't really get any sniffs. We weren't going to like the right tournament, so I switched over to Edge in my fall. Went to the tryout, and the coach pulled me aside halfway through and went up and met my dad. For people that don't know, Mark Burton. He talked to my dad midway through practice and was like, "Hey, like, we really want this kid. Like, he's gonna go places," kind of thing. And from there on, like, I owe almost everything to Edge, like, besides my parents, of course, but everything to Edge for helping me get recruited, and my coach Mark Burton. I wouldn't be where I am today without them. And so I went on to play Edge in the fall, and within a month I committed to St. Joe's. Talked to a few schools, visited St. Joe's though, and fell in love with the campus. It was exactly like Hogwarts kind of feel. Their coach was Coach Ray. He's, people that don't know as well, he's Team Canada coach. He was like a second overall pick in the NLL draft from BC. So he just became the head coach, and he was highly recruiting me. Thought it'd be a great fit for me. Went in as a freshman. Quickly learned that my style didn't mix with theirs. Their O coach sorry, it was head coach and co-head coach. So the co-head coach was Coach Keating. He was a Duke midfielder. Absolutely loved him. Him and I got along really well. Our styles just did not form together. He liked the two-handed, kind of lacrosse player, like American style play, and I can't throw anything with my left hand. So like, I just didn't. It wasn't a good mix. Tried to make it work. At the end of the year, had my end of the year meeting with Coach Ray. He kind of told me where I was at. He's like, didn't really see me really get any sniff just because of my style. And so I asked to transfer out. So I ended up talking. He was great about it. Coach Ray was awesome. He immediately got me into talks with a couple of coaches. And I started talking to Randy Mearns from Canisius, another Team Canada coach, and ended up committing there. And the rest was kind of history. Went on to win a MAC championship my senior year, and met my best friends, people that will be my wedding party, who will be my life for the rest of my life. And one of them being a guy you'll be interviewing or doing a podcast with too is Holden Garland. So it was took a different path for sure with regards to transferring, because I'm a pretty loyal and committed guy. So I like, sticking to a commitment, but this was something that just wasn't going to work out. And I felt it was best for me as a player, lacrosse player, and person to switch over. So I switched, and, it couldn't have worked out any better if I wanted it to. And then luckily was able to get drafted out of college. So
I was going to say, how the heck were you a scholar All-American? I've known you for the better part of a decade now, and the fact that you had a scholar award just shocks me.
So I like to call myself a Swiss Army knife. I pretty much do everything you need. I'm an absolute Jimmy Neutron whiz in the classroom. Very, very, very intellectually smart. But outside of that, I come off as a really cool dude. So like, that's probably why you don't think I'm smart. That's probably why, Foxy. But no, I did care about my grades. I liked trying to get Dean's List every semester, and that was my goal. So yeah, I mean, I'm just born with it, I guess.
Yes, no, I'm messing with you. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, you're not the dumbest guy, at least not in the family. So let's go over to Brady. Brady, you had a hell of a commitment issue at one point. Talk about your process to finally deciding which school you wanted to go to, and then obviously once you made the choice, you didn't like it, and you went to another one. So talk about that whole process.
I think I'd like to take a stab at this.
Yeah, okay. But, so I got, luckily, Connor was in school when I was trying to, go through the recruitment process. So it was kind of, me and him, when it comes to field lacrosse, we do play a little bit different, but, our goal is the same, is that we're, for the most part, both finishers. And so, when schools were looking at me, they kind of looked at Connor too, and we were hoping that I'd be essentially doing the same thing as Connor. And so that's why I committed to Canisius. I loved it every time I visited there. I loved the guys. I loved the coach. I even loved Buffalo, which is, crazy to say. But, Coach Randy Mearns ended up moving on to St. Bonaventure. And, I kind of had to think, was it the school I really loved, or was it him? And I kept thinking, if I'm going to go to Canisius with a new coach, Connor, I'm not going to have the same experience as Connor. The same guys aren't going to be there, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to go there to begin with. So I decided to move on to St. Bonaventure and follow the coach, Randy Mearns. And it was great at St. Bonaventure. I committed basically as soon as he got the job. And then High Point came around, and High Point, I was talking to High Point and stuff like that, and I think it was a week before the NLI signing, I got a text from their compliance officer, and they said that I basically was missing English, so I'd have to redo it entire English, and I'd have to go and basically do it within like a week. And I was scouring and looking for online high school English courses, and the fastest one to be completed was within 2 weeks. So that kind of fell off for D1, and I couldn't get another commitment for there. And that's kind of my own fault, and that's a big regret I have in my life. But at the same time, I moved on to Newberry College, which is in South Carolina, Division II, and had a lot of great experiences there. Made a lot of good memories and great friends, and played some okay lacrosse. It's not really especially down south Division II and second year program. We weren't really, the best team, and we weren't playing the best team. So it's kind of hard for me personally, because, I was so geared up and ready to go Division I and play all these schools and stuff like that, because on my visit to High Point, I saw them play Virginia, and that's always been a dream of mine. I actually wanted to go to Virginia. So just even having the chance to play against them for me was huge. And so, I mean, when I went to Newberry, it was in South Carolina. It was I think it was an 18-hour drive. It was really hard distance-wise. And like I said, with all the factors and lacrosse and stuff like that, it just wasn't the right fit. I tried it out for the year. Like I said, met some of my best friends there. As Connor even said, some of these guys are going to be at my wedding, and some of them might even be in my wedding party. That's how much I love some of them. But decided to transfer after my freshman year. And, during that recruitment process, I don't, personally speaking, I don't get the best grades, that's for sure. I'm definitely not apparently Jimmy Neutron. I'm not an academic weapon. I just get what I need to get done so I can play some lacrosse. And so, I went to Mercy College, and I'm still at Mercy College right now, and I'm not going to leave. So, I know I've switched a lot of schools, but, just here to set the record straight that I'm not going to be leaving this one. It's in New York. It's a lot closer to home. I was able to go home for Thanksgiving break, American Thanksgiving break. Got home for Christmas break very quickly. It was like a 45-minute flight. It's great. I just love it there right now. I love my team. I just want to talk a little bit about my coach. Coach Jordan Levine. He's the best coach I've actually to this day played for. Sorry. He really toes the line when it comes to being your friend, being your coach, and being just a mentor. He's always there for you, and just the guys of the team of Mercy. Just great people, great teammates, and like I said, some of my best friends I've met so far right now, and it's kind of weird, when you flip, from school to school, obviously, but you just got to think sometimes, everything happens for a reason. And, I got, second team All-American this year. And I at no point could that have happened without, the great coaching staff at Mercy. But most importantly, my teammates that helped that. So.
I'm obviously just busting your balls a little bit, Brady. I know you're a good guy. I know that's not your fault for switching and flipping, but you're obviously dominating D2 right now, and you're making a big name for yourself, and wish you all the best coming up with your upcoming seasons and everything, and hopefully we'll get to play with you some more this year. But we're going to go into what I know me and Will have been waiting for all week since we scheduled this. We're going to go to our Battle of the Brothers segments. So, we got a couple of topics here. We're going to let you two decide which one's better at what.
Okay, let's do it.
This is going to be a shit show. Here we go. Who's the better box lacrosse player?
Connor is. He plays the middle really well and such good picks, and he's definitely well, you look at him and for sure made for it. He's definitely not a fast player. He's definitely not going to win any speed contests, and whatever he's going to tell you is going to be a lie if he's fast, because he's not.
Pure power.
Yeah, but Connor's just a better box player. He's good and tight. Got good snapshots. So
better, I'd say better all around, but he's got obviously some attributes that's better. That's the only compliment I'll give him for the rest of the day.
You guys both grew up playing hockey. Who's the better hockey player?
Oh, that's me. Easily. Connor. Connor was good for the level he played at. And I was much better. I got made junior A and got some looks, and ended up going to the lacrosse route though. But Connor, whatever he's going to tell you right now, especially, was not the better hockey player. At any point was he remotely close to being better than me.
I'd like to disagree with that one. It's a toss-up. Brady was very good. It was a toss-up for sure. But I'm confident in my abilities, and if we would have done a breakaway challenge, say you will come down on me. I take my chances over his. So take that out as you want. I was on AA though. We had really good goalies in our area. Brady Brady was the best goalie in his area, but if I was Brady's age, I'd be the best goalie in the area. So I don't know. It's tough to say. He had a better glove hand. Everything else I was probably better at. No, jokes aside, Brady was probably a lot better.
Right.
Actually, not probably was.
Well, this is the most compliments I think I've ever heard you give Brady, Connor. So we're making progress here. Your parents are going to be proud.
Oh yeah.
Who's got the better style?
In terms of
Lacrosse or
we'll go everyday attire.
Oh, Connor.
Well, I do because I don't get up out of bed at 2:00 in the afternoon and look like an absolute bum. I like to look a little bit presentable. I'm not saying I have good style either. I just don't like looking like a bum.
I would like to refute that. I'm a casual lad. I like having fun, and I don't really care what anyone thinks of me when it comes to, me dressing how I look or anything like that. I'll rock a mullet. I do rock mullets pretty hard. I do rock the old tickler stash pretty hard, might I add. Looks good. My dress attire is definitely business casual. Business as usual always. Connor's kind of dressing to impress, and I don't need to impress anyone.
I'm pretty sure when I have my wedding, Brady will be the guy that's up there in the tuxedo T-shirt. He's formal, but he likes to party.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, for you guys, I can't even say anything. I'm just going to say the questions so that you guys talk. This is so much better. Who's better at Xbox?
Oh, 100% me. Connor is brutal. He's and you know what the worst part is he'll say he's good at Warzone and he's not good at Warzone. He'll go, "Oh, I got 6 kills," and he's got like 10 damage. Like, he's brutal. Like, he's a seagull in a McDonald's parking lot picking up fries. He's a scrap. He's a cockroach.
All right, so rebuttal. That is not the case at all, because I can also bring up an example today where we were playing with the Garland brothers, and I tossed up 2,500 damage. I got 3 kills. Brady tosses up maybe 7 kills, but he's got literally 1,000 damage. So, I mean, I'll do the work. I'll get my hands look like this so his hands can look pretty. All right? Mine are dirty and calloused up, so his can look like the little 15-year-old girl with their nails done.
Whatever, buddy.
So,
I'll see you in for dance.
Xbox, depends what game. We're both pretty good. Warzone, I give myself the edge. Rainbow, I give him the edge. Quick scoping, I give him the edge.
Everyday gunfights in Call of Duty.
Gunfight.
Connor, listen, he's just spitting lies. Like, he's brutal. And
Better than KD.
No, you don't. You try and act like you're some hardo on Xbox. Like, in Verdansk, you don't do anything. When Bravo 6 goes dark, you're nowhere to be found. You're sitting
I'm the
there.
first guy that's in the dark.
Oh, my God.
All right, I don't need to get into this anymore.
We'll keep it going. And this is going to be even worse. Who's the better looking brother? Go.
Oh, my God.
Without a question. Girls don't like guys that look like friggin' Doofenshmirtz. Like, they just don't, from Phineas and Ferb, all right? Like, skinny, sludged back because all he does is play Xbox. But he's a fat Doofenshmirtz because he always likes to bring up that he's the skinnier brother because he weighs less, which is true, he weighs less. But when you don't go to bed till 2:30 in the afternoon and then you go to bed at 3 in the morning and all you do is eat one meal, you're going to lose weight. Brady's skinny, fat, and bones. I am skin, fat, bones, and absolute staggering muscle, right? Pure power. So that's the difference, though. And he
all right. I'll actually refute this pretty hard, because Connor's got more chins than a Chinese phone book. He there's no way he's better looking than me at any point. First off,
why do you think Brady has that beard? Why do you think he has that beard?
I have a way better beard than you. One,
he hides it.
1 and 2. You have a beard and it doesn't hide a single thing. Like today, guy mucks like 12 wings, right? 8. Like 12. 8. You know what? And you know what he does later? He goes up and he friggin' goes and grabs a friggin' what's it called? A manwich.
Sloppy Joe. You
cranks 2 of those. And he wants to tell me that he's the better looking one. He's got better style, but when you have looks like this, and especially a rock and bod like mine, you don't need style. You don't need style. You just have to have a great personality, which I have. Like, I'm like a 7-ish in person, but like personality brings it to like a 9 because that's like a +2. Like, he's like a 3 in real life, and like his personality brings it up to like a 3.5. Like, it's not even a toss up.
Thanks. Back to my brought my food this morning. Protein. I gotta eat protein because I'm pure muscle. So you got to keep that in mind. That's why I was eating that. 2, my eyes are way better looking than his. Mine are absolutely gorgeous. All right. 3, eyebrows, obviously me. The only thing Brady's got on me is height. That's all he's got. And you know what? Why don't we ask you guys? Who do you guys think is the better looking brother?
Doesn't matter if I can dunk.
Look at this lighting right now.
Doesn't matter if I can dunk on you.
I'm not getting involved in this. We'll let you two fight this out after. Who's the better driver?
Oh, well, yeah, well, Connor.
I am. Brady crashed my car last year.
I get in one car accident from a guy blindsiding me, and I'm in the wrong. No, but he got a new car out of it. If anything, you should thank me. And I played a game after. It was a huge car crash. Wrote the car, and you know what I did? I didn't cry. I didn't moan. I went out there, gave it 110 on the floor with the boys. We lost, but personally, to myself, it's a win for myself. Not many guys can do that.
Yeah, he says I owe him a thank you for getting a new car, but yet I had to pay an extra $1,300 towards it. So, like, if anything, he owes me $1,300.
You owe me,
and that would be his whole life savings, so he can't pay it.
Okay, I can't refute that.
All right, we got a couple more here. Who's the bigger mommy's boy?
Oh my God, me. My mom loves me, and she would fight Mike Tyson with brass knuckles to protect me, and it's unreal. Like, and you know what? Connor wants to whine and cry and go, "Oh, my mom's sticking up for me," because she sticks up for me because he's such an idiot. Like, that's it. I'm the bigger mommy's boy because she gives me head scratches. That's not a crime. I like my head scratch. It's not a crime. We're in quarantine. What's my girlfriend gonna do? She can't give me head scratches. She's in quarantine too. We're all in quarantine. We're in this together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just because I like hanging out with my mom more than Connor doesn't mean I'm a bad guy.
I am the more dependent son for sure.
23.
Meaning like when it comes to like doing stuff in the house and all that, and like Brady's just like, and so my mom really loves sticking up for my brother. So Brady likes to get in there, soften her up even more. So she's still on his side no matter what. It's a little bit of, I'm not gonna lie, it's bullshit. But he's definitely the bigger mama's boy, but simply just for brown nosing, the kissing her ass.
I don't kiss anyone's ass because these lips are just clean and ready to go. So
yeah, but I mean,
so the winner's Brady.
Yeah.
So it's Brady. All right.
I won.
So who is the bigger chirper / agitator in lacrosse games? I've played with both you, and I think I'm leaning to the guy who's a little younger here.
Yeah. We're both little. Well, sorry. When it comes to NLL, I don't say a word. I don't say a word up there to the refs or anything. Senior summer ball, whole different ball game. I'll tell the refs to go F himself. Like, it's completely different rules out there. You tell players, like, you just yip everybody. Don't shut up ever. He's the exact same way. And to go with that, I mean, he's definitely – I wouldn't say he's better – he's not necessarily a better agitator. He's just, like, more like a gnat. Like, he's always in your face, like, won't ever leave and doesn't stop. So, like, I think an example to that is Brady gets called up to us, and funny story was he was starstruck with all the players we were playing with, but he starts yipping Cody Jamieson for whatever reason. Cody Jamieson say something to him. Brady calls him like a fatty or something. And I was like, "Don't." We're walking off the floor after the period. I'm like, "Don't say it to Cody Jamieson. You know who that was? One of the best players to play. Like, don't be doing that." He goes, "Oh, okay. I didn't know that was him." Right? And it's like, what are you doing? They're like, know your audience. Know who you're yipping.
I'm a good yipper. I'm a in the face time guy. Like, a good example would be is picture a plate of food in a cottage, right? And there's a fly, and he just won't leave, and he's laying on your pancake. You don't want that, and I'm just there. You can't kill him because he's so fast. That's me. Like, and you know what I mean? I'm just all around. I don't kind of shut up, and you can kind of hear that right now. I can talk for hours. So this podcast might be about 3. It's just I'm just better at chirping. I'm better at pretty much every facet of life.
It's not a matter of being better. It's a matter of, like, if you start talking, he'll just start talking over you. So
yeah,
like,
it works.
It's not really necessarily good chirping. It's just being annoying.
Oh, God. This is exactly what we were looking for. This is fantastic, boys. Last but not least, who's the better social media guy? Who's got better Instagram, Twitter game? Because you guys are both, well, your whole family is big Twitter people. And I know me and Connor have dealt firsthand with having parents who love to use social media and chirp their kids behind their back without tagging them or anything like that. So,
oh yeah, my mom.
Rather than do a brother, let's do the whole family. Between mom, dad, and you two, who has the best social media game?
I would definitely say myself.
The most entertaining.
Let's just go 1 to 4. 1 to 4. Who you got? We'll go with Connor.
Okay, well, me and Brady would be 1 or 2. We interchangeable, I would say. Brady, I'll get into that in a second, and then probably my dad. He doesn't say too much on Twitter, but when he does, he's coming for your throat, and as he's yipped you too on it. Like he tagged both of us in it, so no surprise. And then my mom, just because my mom tweets so much, it's hard to keep track of everything she's trying to tweet. And she's like a little gnat in her head too. Like she's got so many ideas going around in her head, so she doesn't always articulate it. But Brady's Twitter is entertaining simply because if he's having a couple of drinks or something, and he gets Twitter hungry or something, he'll tweet out anything. Doesn't read it at all. Doesn't know what he's getting into. So he just looks like an absolute meathead. So me, my buddy, Cookie, and all them, we'll look over like Brady, you can't tweet that out. Why are you tweeting that out? And he goes, I don't know. I don't know. And it's everything you could possibly spell wrong is spelled wrong. He doesn't know the difference between the theirs, the twos, here. He doesn't know the difference. He doesn't know how to spell. So it's hilarious.
All right. Well, all right. To refute his crazy claims.
Stop saying refute.
Oh, well, I'm doing it. I refute you saying I can't refute. Back to the drink thing, I might have a few drinks, and that's the idea, Turner. That's how companies get started. So I'm definitely gonna stick to my guns here and say that I'm definitely in the right here because I've tweeted some wonderful things, you know what I mean. If your tweet gets over 10 likes, you're basically famous at that point. So I mean, I've had a few tweets go over 10 likes, no big deal, but I don't let that change me as a person. With all the the attention and the hype around me, and still the same guy.
If you want good substance, mine's better. If you want, idiotic substance, Brady's is better.
That's why people
Stupidity.
like Twitter.
No, definitely. That's exactly, I think, what our fans were looking for here, and I'm sure they're going to get a good kick out of that Battle of the Brothers segment right there. We're going to dive into a little bit of Connor, back in 2018, draft day. What was that like in the National Lacrosse League for you and your family, being drafted 11th overall in the 2018 NLL draft?
It was cliche and corny, but an absolute dream come true. It was funny. I was looking back at an old hockey yearbook thing where it asked, "What do you want to be when you're older?" And I said, "An NHL player, or NLL player," and that was back. I think I was 9. So seeing that and then seeing it actually come true it's pretty amazing. And the draft day itself, it was held at Xfinity Live in Philadelphia. It was an unreal venue, perfect for what we were doing, and hearing my name called and getting to walk up on that stage, and then getting to hug my mom and dad after, because they put so much time, effort, commitment into me getting to where I am. It was really surreal. And it's definitely something I'll never forget. And then getting interviewed by Devin Caney, one of the NLL reporters. And then my parents ended up getting interviewed as well, the same night as me, with the three of us. That was pretty cool. And then my mom, just in absolute tears, just of pure enjoyment or pure joy and excitement. It was something pretty special, and probably one of the best days for sure in my life. And then, getting to get drafted to the San Diego Seals, and then I got to live out there, which was, you can't beat San Diego weather. I don't care what anyone says, 24 and sunny every day. There's nothing better. So it was pretty amazing experience, and definitely a great first team to be drafted by and get to play for. And I'm excited for more years to come in San Diego.
We interviewed a former teammate of yours the other day, Mr. Connor Kelley, who's now my teammate in New York, and you guys got to play together in San Diego for the year. And he described you as a bowling ball, and he talked about the old hole in the wall in this room. You want to give your cut to the story for that one there?
Yeah, I would love to hear his side of it, but him and I used to wrestle quite a bit. We used to get in each other's ears and get each other going. He was one of the you probably know he's one of the easiest people to get going.
So easy.
Yeah, it's unreal. So I used to just sometimes if I was bored, I'd just kind of look at him and start saying stuff to him just to get him going. And so I think we were actually getting ready to go out, and he was down in his room, and I was like, I'm going to wrestle you right now. And we just started, I just grabbed him, we started wrestling, and we're like just throwing each other around. Props to him for being able to toss me around a little bit, but I definitely got the upper hand in that for sure. And I believe it was my ass that went through the wall. Perfect circle though, perfect ass. You couldn't ask for a better hole. He probably looked at a hole every day, to be honest, checking it out. But it was just a fun little wrestle, and he actually snapped my necklace doing that. So he owes me a necklace. So make sure you let him know.
We'll let him know.
I definitely won that wrestle.
Yeah, it sounded like there's a little agitation before that kind of got him to go there, but basically the key of the story is your ass went through a wall.
Long story short, yeah, my ass went through a wall. Wasn't the first time, won't be the last.
Oh God. But yeah, let's talk about San Diego for a bit. Obviously, it's an amazing area. You guys have great ownership. And Joe Tsai, talk about what it meant coming to an expansion franchise like that at the time. And the whole, you got Patty Merrill there, obviously, who played the game forever. And I was coached by Patty at the Hill, so I know him pretty well. But talk about San Diego Seals organization as a whole and what it's been like for you these first 2 years of your career playing in a new fan base in the California area.
Yeah, the San Diego Seals, a fantastic organization, and it's going to be for a long time. It starts with the ownership down. So Joe Tsai, obviously co-founder of Alibaba, huge, basically the Chinese Amazon, really treated us well and set San Diego up for on the right path to be successful. And then we have our president, Steve Gubbett, who's actually the one who kind of brought Colorado to fruition and why it's one of the best places to play in the NLL now. He helped build that, and now he's helping do the same for us. And then same with the vice president, Josh Gross. And then we have obviously our coaching staff, which is top notch. We got Pat Merrill, like you said, he's played forever. A little bit of a intense guy for sure. And then we've got Josh Sanderson, shooter, one of the best O guys to ever play. And then we have Billy Greer, one of the best D guys, played Team Canada, won a couple championships as well. He's there, so it's pretty special getting to play in front of those guys and getting to learn so many things from them. And then San Diego, like with the fan base, was by no means the best in the NL last year. Obviously, that's you come to think of that, but just because it's not really a lacrosse location, and it was a new team, and people aren't really aware of sports teams in San Diego in general. That's why the Chargers left, right? So, but it's been getting better and better each game, and they do a lot of community stuff, which is fantastic. They just recently donated $1.5 million worth of medical stuff towards San Diego local hospitals for COVID. And then we go to school. Last when I was living down there, we do appearances. So we went to schools like every single day, pretty much. We put on camps, free clinics, golf tournaments. We did everything we could to get out into the community and get an outreach, and it's paying off. And I'm excited to see where it's going to be within the next 2 or 3 years. How many fans will actually start packing that arena? But no, you can ask, like, the fans that we do have though. They are loyal. They absolutely love it. They're all about lacrosse, about Seals. So it's pretty special because after every game we go out and sign autographs, and it's the same people almost every single time out there. And, you know, they're just so excited to see you. And we take the time to speak to them all, sign everything. So San Diego's definitely in the right track and set up a nice little unique experience for their fans. So it's gonna be special to see what comes from years to come.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, San Diego is a growing fan base, and you know, I've obviously been a part of that whole expansion franchise situation, and it doesn't always start off the greatest, but you can see potential, obviously, in both fan bases, with you in San Diego and me in New York. And when you have ownership like Josiah, obviously, it helps a lot. Talk about kind of your first game in the NLL and that experience and how that made you feel.
My first game was in Colorado, which was awesome because it's one of the coolest venues to play at, and the fan base is one of the best in the NLL. Usually a pretty packed place. So they call it the Loud House, I think, right? So
Loud House.
It's called that for a reason. It's you get in there and it is loud. People are cheering, tons of fans. So it's pretty cool just to start off by playing in front of that environment. And then, you know, my first game, I got my first goal, my first assist. It was pretty special. It's stuff you always see on TV, like NHL and stuff, where a person plays their first game and they get their first goal or point. It's always really something cool. And I couldn't ask for a better debut. And then obviously being put in the position I was by my coaches and by my teammates is like, that's where all the credit goes to. Obviously, as you know, and I know, you can't do it without your teammates. And I was fortunate enough to play with some really, really amazing players last year, especially. So all credit to them. And honestly, my first game experience was out of this world. Another dream come true, just like the draft day, and kind of almost solidifying my spot in the NLL. Like I deserved to be there, kind of thing. So it was a nice little validation. So yeah, it was just amazing.
You guys definitely are the great duo brother and comedic act together, I guess we could say. But Brady, you kind of are still in your junior age, and you jumped into your first kind of pro experience last year with the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. Can you kind of talk about that experience for you, playing alongside your brother, and how that was for you and your family?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool because I think 2 weeks or something before that, it was I got to, obviously, I knew Foxy before then, but me, him, and Connor went up to Keenan Cook's cottage, and it was good to just kind of associate with each other and really get to know each other a lot more. Obviously, a lot of fun times there, but you know, we kind of moved forward past that, and you know, all of a sudden, I'm playing for Brooklyn, and
I've got so many videos from that weekend on my phone still.
Right, it's fantastic. But you know, playing in MSL, we were out of our season for the beaches, so it was kind of, you know, you guys can attest to this, when you actually restart into the junior season, the first game, it's brutal because you know you just got to make it past the first period without going into cardiac arrest or anything like that. And so, you know, I was getting back into it, and we were playing against Oakville. I actually got to play against my cousin Sheldon Burns, and he. You know, Burns, he greased me a few times. You know, I don't know, that's a really big family thing to do, but you know, the pace of play is so much faster, and everyone just has, like, you know, it's everyone is you know, knowing what to do at all times, and everyone's there. You know, there's certain sets that you don't even think that there is a set because it's so hectic, but there's always something going on. And it was actually really cool and really fun to be a part of. And you know, I think it was 2 games later. After a lot of chances, I was able to get a goal, and you know, I know it was kind of cool to you know, have a lot of the guys, you know, really support me and stuff like that. You know, when I scored there, you know, I scored, and you know, people were actually excited for me. They're happy, obviously, that we got a goal in the game, but they're happy for me to actually have that experience. And you know, that was really telling. And you know, Brad McCarthy was the head coach, and he was with the Gales, so you can see how it kind of transfers over a little bit there. But you know, it was just a crazy, hectic, fun experience that I didn't think that I really would ever have the experience or have the opportunity to live or play through. And so for me, lacrosse career-wise, it was awesome. that's exactly how he got to Mercy College. Also, Coach Ryan McSpadden, Ryan McSpadden. He's obviously on the Brooklyn Redmen, and he went to Mercy and kind of set that all up. And so if anything, without that experience, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. So it's kind of a great memory for me to have.
I remember after like the first home game, I think that you played Brady, and I'll say that Brady, I think, averaged about 4 points a game or something like that. Connor, you can correct me on that, and it's 3 points a game. Okay, he doesn't want to give him the 4.
No.
About 3 points a game playing in senior as a guy who still has a year on junior is really impressive. And you impressed the hell out of me, kid. And obviously we hope that we'll have you back with us soon, especially we have a shortened season this year in major series with the old BLC. We'll gladly take you on the left side. But I remember your mom after that first home game literally grabbing the cameraman saying, "Go get a picture of my boys. This is the real first time they play together. Go get a picture of my boys." So Connor, kind of give your experience of being able to play with your brother for the first time in an actual a decent group of games there.
Unreal. It was definitely something I always wanted to do when I was younger, and going to the Cooks, I was always a little jealous because me and Kearnan were on the same team. Obviously, Brady's 3 years younger than me, and then Tanner was 2 years younger than me and Kearnan. And so in minor, when you call the people up from the age under, so Tanner was always like the major, so he always got called up, and I always wanted to play with Brady, but he was just too young. So it was finally cool getting to play with my brother. For real, where he actually had a role. Our first game in junior A, he didn't necessarily have much of an impact or role just because he was so young and so inexperienced. But then senior A, our first game, was against Oakville, I believe, and he was a little timid, obviously, like anyone would be, and he wasn't taking, because usually Brady, I don't know if you know Brady or not, but he's never seen a shot he didn't like. He'll shoot from the red line. He doesn't care, right? And I was surprised because he had a couple of shots where he was opening in Oakville and he's not taking them. So it's like, grab him on the bench, like shoot the fucking ball. I know you can shoot it because you're not afraid to shoot it any other time. Shoot the ball. And then he's like, oh, okay, I don't know if my place or not. I'm like, no, you're a lacrosse player. Shoot the ball. And started firing. I think he had finished the game with about 20 shots. Didn't score one that game, but it might have been the worst shooting percentage ever with the amount of attempts, 0% on 20. But another funny story that I always think about back to our first game when he was talking about cardiac arrest was I remember looking over because his junior season had been done, so he had been playing for a couple of weeks. So I looked over him on the bench, and he's on the bench, legit dying. I'm patting him on the back, got a bottle, squirting water down his back, cold water. I'm like, man, are you all right? I was genuinely worried for his health for a second.
He was breathing through a straw. Through a straw.
He goes, yeah, I'm just not used to this. And so I get a kick out of that when I think about that. And then after that, he settled in pretty nicely. Like you said, he didn't count that game. He probably did finish with 4 points a game, beating both you and me, which is kind of, annoying and pisses me off a little bit. I don't know about you, but he did well, and hopefully he shoots like that in junior. I don't know why he can't do it every game. He's going to put 4 up against Six Nations on Dylan Ward and Doug Jamieson, some of the best goalies in the world. Why he can't do it in junior, but I don't know. I guess that's a story for another time. But no, it was amazing, and hopefully I get a chance to play with him again, and maybe he won't piss me off as much.
I mean, knowing you two, he probably will piss you off, so you might be ready for it. Yeah. Something that you guys have, we've talked about it before, and you've talked about guys who will be in your wedding party and everything, is the TCB. You guys grew up with that. I'll let Brady start it off a little bit, but talk about what TCB is and what that group of buddies is.
Yeah, so I mean, we've always had this group of buddies with me, Tanner Cook, Connor, obviously, and Keenan Cook. We're a dual pair there. And we live really close together, but near our house is a tennis court, and they always loved Trailer Park Boys, and Connor kind of adopted it and made it into the TCBs. And Tennis Court Boys is what TCB stands for. And we were out there pretty much, I'd say, every day. We always every day in the summer growing up, we were pretty much always with each other. Whether it's playing Dungeons and Dragons or some mini lax or ripping over at the tennis court, getting some shots in. I definitely know that the neighborhood isn't too fond of us going in there and taking some shots, especially the tennis players not using the tennis court for the tennis court reason to play tennis is probably, main problem one. But other than that, just sailing shots over, that's probably me. I shoot underhand now, but back in the day when I didn't really know much, I definitely would launch them over and hit a car or two, or maybe a pedestrian if I'm lucky. I don't know, but it's just definitely just a group for life. I think that regardless whether if I'm now or even if I'm 45, I can always look back on these memories, and they seem kind of minute right now, but they kind of shaped us into the lacrosse players we are now. So
yeah, I mean, exactly. At Tennis Court Boys, Trailer Park Boys, kind of embodied that lifestyle at Trailer Park Boys. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not. For any of the viewers too, but Trevor Boys just a bunch of meathead buddies just doing absolutely idiotic, stupid things, saying stupid things. So that's kind of what we did. And some of the conversations that if you were walking by and you heard, you'd be like, wow, like these guys, there's something wrong with them for sure. So embrace the tennis court boy culture. And it wasn't just, like Brady said, just the Kiernans and the Cooks. We also had a couple other of my buddies that were in there every now and again. They kind of died off a little bit more as the years went on, but one of them, Matt Holiday, he actually, great story from last summer. Brady has a tattoo gun, and we got really drunk in our backyard, and we always talked about getting tennis court boy tattoos, TCB tattoos, and Holiday was here and he was really drunk too. He goes, yeah, I'll get a tattoo now. And Brady goes, oh yeah, I'll give it to you. And Brady went upstairs, grabbed his tattoo gun. My dad's sitting outside, absolutely appalled and disappointed in Brady that he's about to tattoo his buddy Hammered. But
yeah, I actually wrote it.
So Brady, my dad and I made a joke that he was going to spell TCB wrong, and we're like, oh, make sure he's doing samples. So we're like, oh, Holiday, make sure he spelled it right before. And Brady's like, oh my God, I spelled it right. It's not that hard. And we looked down and it was TBC. He spelled it wrong. And he's like, oh, I did spell it wrong. And then ended up tattooing on our buddy.
Yeah.
It looks horrible.
It looks fantastic. When you're under the influence and you have such a steady hand like mine, like check that out, like ready to go. It came out just as how I imagined it, not too good, but not too bad either. I free-handed it, no stencil, just gunned it on him. It looks good, and he's going to have for the rest of the life. You can look down and go, my idiot buddy gave it to him in the backyard, having some drinks with some good people. It stands for something real unreal, friggin' something sick like the tennis court boys. Like, how many people can say that? Not many, obviously.
So, yeah, okay. Rambling there, but
it works.
The TCB, in a more general sense, was absolutely what shaped every single one of us. As you know, you can't go anywhere without honing your skills and your fundamentals. So that was a place where I think, like me, Brady, Tanner, and Kearnan, we all ended up going. Oh, Brady, stop!
What
happened? We ended up going to play NCAA lacrosse in the States. Tanner going to UNC, myself, Canisius, Kearnan, Siena for D1, and then Brady went to Mercy, being a second team All-American. Same with Tanner, second team All-American. It obviously shaped who we were, and it made us as good of lacrosse players as what we have become, just because we wanted to be together all the time, and we were out there shooting countless balls for 3 to 4 hours a day every single summer. So something very meaningful.
For sure. That's always meaningful, and it definitely probably shaped you guys into the players that you are today. We're going to get into our final segment here. Jake and I are trying to limit the abuse on officials in the game of lacrosse. As we all know, over the last few years, there's been a lot of incidents, whether it's in minor. I'm sure you guys have heard a lot through your mom of stories that have happened in minor lacrosse with officials And even at the MSL level in the Major Series Lacrosse, there's been incidents where that shouldn't be happening to our officials because they're a part of the game. And if we didn't have the referees, we wouldn't be able to play the game that we all love so much. So I'm going to start with you, Brady. I'm going to ask you who your favorite referee is and why.
My favorite referee is personally Kyle Kropman. And the reason why I like Kyle is because, he's fair to everyone, and he is, we know him personally, but aside from that, he's there to let you play. I think the official abuse, it can't happen. Obviously we can't play without them, but at the same time they kind of, to me, it seems like they kind of get, a little, not power hungry, but they kind of want to take, it seems like they take the game into their own hands. And I disagree with that. But Krop lets you play, if you slash someone or someone slashes you or you retaliate, there's obviously a reason for it. And he'll let it go, but he'll give you some warnings and before. So if you get a penalty or something like that, it's completely on you. He just actually allows you to play the game that we love so much. As we know, it's really physical, and over the years, especially in the NCAA, it's really died down. A clean hit and it's still a penalty, and that's kind of stupid to me. But Crappie just lets you, you can blow someone up on a pick if he's greasing you, but he'll make the right call, or if he doesn't make a call, he's definitely giving you a warning before, so it's on you. So I mean, you can't ask for a better ref. I obviously he's not perfect and makes some bad calls sometimes, but obviously as players we make some stupid plays that lead to those calls. So
Otter, what about you?
I got two, Ecclestone and Kropman as well. Big fan, and you can throw Fergie in there too. Big fan, simply because, like Brady said, they let you play to an extent, but they're also like more so younger guys. So like obviously tensions get high when you're playing a game. We all know that. We play competitive sports. You might say like he's swearing and stuff like that. Like I could tell Kropman like it might be official abuse. I don't know, but Kropman, I'm like, hey, Kropman, call a hold, and he goes, it wasn't there. I'm like, fuck off, like kind of thing. Like he's not a ref that's gonna give me a penalty for telling him to fuck off. Like he knows like tensions are high. Same with Ecclestone, like they know tensions are high. Like they're like, come on, Kearney, like you're wrong. Like come on, man. Like they look at you like they're talking to me like I'm 12-year-old kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And it's just a matter of like mutual understanding. So that's a big fan of Ecclestone and Kropman for that reason. And they just they get the game for sure. And they're there to help us play. They're not there to take over the show or anything like that. They want to see the game get played as much as we do. And they want to see all the stuff that goes on in lacrosse with the hitting, slashing, all of that, but they want to keep it in with reason. So that is why I think they're awesome refs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Kyle Kropman and Andrew Ecclestone are at the level they are at today with their officiating careers. And one more thing, last question to ask you both. If there's anything as players that we can do to help limit the abuse towards officials, what do you think that could be?
I think that it's a give and pull situation. Like you obviously give respect and you get respect, but at the same time, as you're playing and like I said, you're in such a high intensity environment that you could say some words to the refs, tell them to go fuck himself or something like that. But at the end of the day, like people just really got to realize, and it's not even about how to limit it, it's just how to just get rid of it to begin with. It's just about simply just having the peace of mind or just just some ability of consciousness to realize that literally without them, there would be no game of lacrosse. So I understand that, I've definitely been on the receiving end of some bad calls, but, at the end of the day, they're getting paid X amount of money a game. They definitely don't want to hear, 12 to, 21-year-olds go tell them to go fuck themselves. Right. It's unprecedented and it doesn't really, it's not really warranted. So, I mean, I think that just having the awareness of actually realizing what they mean and what they do to our sport is just, I think personally that should be more than enough for someone not to, chase someone out into a parking lot and just, basically for him trying to do his job. Right. So.
Yeah. I think building a kind of like a connection throughout the game. Again, I might yell or swear to ref, but at the end, like, it goes both ways, where in the middle of the play's done or whatever, I'll talk to ref and like just like as if we're friends hanging out, talking, like building that respect up for one another. And then like, it'd be like me talking to Foxy, like he could tell me to go fuck myself, but he's also gonna tell me like, hey, like you're a cool dude kind of thing. So it's a matter of like,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
yeah, it's like a matter of give and take kind of thing. So that's a big thing for me is, building a kind of relation throughout the game. And then I think if you like, give the ball to the ref, things like that, or like say, hey, that was a good call, or talking to him nicely in between plays, like, hey, I think you look for this kind of thing. And then I think they kind of let things go and their emotions kind of stay a little bit lower. So that's my kind of approach to it. And I've never like obviously been mad at refs, but I've never been to the point of wanting to take it out on them just because like they're doing their job just as much as we are, and we make mistakes and they make mistakes too. So you got to remember that. And again, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a game, and no one deserves to get hurt over anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you guys both touched on it there. It's a give and take with the levels of respect that players and coaches and anyone involved in the game of lacrosse should be giving to the officials. And for the majority of the part, the officials are good at giving respect back to the players. So we appreciate you guys coming on and talk with us. And your battle of the brothers there was hilarious. And I'm sure the fans are going to enjoy it. So we appreciate your time and wish you guys continued success in your future lacrosse career.
This was awesome, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This was actually a lot of fun, and I think this podcast is really cool and really dynamic compared to the other ones. It's more so locker talk. So, yeah.
Yeah, shut up. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Sticks and Picks Lacrosse Podcast. Be sure to check out lacrosseunlimited.com for all your lacrosse needs. Thanks again to Signature Lacrosse for doing a giveaway. Check out our social media pages on Instagram and Twitter at SticksPicksLax and on Facebook at Sticks and Picks Lacrosse for all the contest giveaway details. There are still a few days left in the 2020 Global Lacrosse Summit. You can still sign up and watch all the experts that you've missed. We are proud to sponsor a grassroots lacrosse effort to further grow the creator's game. A reminder that May is Mental Health Awareness Month in Canada. Take Control Training's owner and head coach Trevor Sear will be doing one burpee for every $2 raised in his TCT Resiliency Initiative. You can listen to his story or check out our social media to learn more.